while I know the comments of the majority's time manager were directed to my colleague from Florida, it will likely not surprise him that I will regularly vote against things that pass unanimously in the United States Senate. I don't hold that as a standard. We're here on a resolution regarding the peaceful transition of power. We barely had a peaceful transition of power in 2016. My colleague, the gentleman from California, was on television almost every night telling the American people that President Trump was an agent of the Russian government. How fake it all turned out to be. I rise in opposition to this resolution, even though I completely support the peaceful transfer of power. This resolution is a way for Democrats to attack the president and disguise the fact that they will refuse to accept the election results unless they win. Professional loser Hillary Clinton has told Joe Biden that he should not concede, and I'm quoting, under any circumstances. The Transition Integrity Project has said that the aftermath of November election will be, and I'm quoting, a street fight, not a legal battle. The same report suggests that Biden could even try to convince states to secede from the Union before accepting a Trump victory. Are these the actions of a party willing to accept defeat? They weren't even willing to accept defeat in the 2016 election. They had to go blame the Russians. I guess I'm still waiting for the 13 Russians that were indicted to show up. No, this resolution is projecting and gaslighting. And the media has begun gaslighting the public too, saying that it may look like Trump won on election night, but that as ballots are counted, states will flip. How will this great switch be accomplished? Through the Democrats' usual methods: lawfare, fraud, and violence. Look at what we've already seen. Mike Bloomberg is trying to quite literally buy votes from felons in Florida. In Pennsylvania, absentee ballots for President Trump were found in a dumpster, and in Minnesota, Democrat operatives were caught on camera discussing forcible, illegal ballot harvesting. Democrats ignore all this. They're not on the floor to condemn any of it. Matter of fact, they've ignored it the same way they've ignored the riots and arson and violence in America's cities, the same way they ignored the Antifa goon squads and the gangs of fascists in brown shirts who threaten to harm anyone who does not want America to become their communist woketopia. Democrats ignore criminality when it helps them, and because they're not so secretly of the belief that if someone is punched or maimed or assaulted by Antifa, they might deserve it, especially if they're a member of our brave law enforcement. Democrats ignore these heinous acts of violence when the victims are Republican, or when they're pro-life, or when they're Trump supporters. Those lives don't matter to Democrats. But they're more than happy to burn America to the ground when they think it will help them. This resolution is part of the Democrats' plan to lay the groundwork for a color revolution, the ousting of an elected leader and calling it democracy. But that's not democracy. It's nothing less than the destruction of our cherished nation. I unequivocally support the peaceful transfer of power, but will vote no on this resolution, and I encourage my colleagues to do the same. And I will pray that America survives the Democrats' mad and destructive lust for power. I yield back.